Hey guys, welcome back once again. So, today we are going to explain a movie. Its name is The Story of Palma. This is the story of a female dog. So let's start. At the beginning of the movie, we see airport. Here, we meet a man named Igor who looks very happy. He is taking his pet dog, Palma, on a foreign trip. Before boarding the airplane, he shows his boarding pass to an air hostess named Nina. But then, she asks him to show a medical certificate for the dog. Igor replies that he doesn't have any medical certificate for Palma. Nina then tells him that there is a clinic nearby. First, you need to get Palma's medical certificate. Only then can you take her on the flight. Hearing this, Igor quickly rushes to the clinic. But when the doctor checks Palma, he finds out that she has an infection in her ear. Because of this, the doctor refuses to issue the medical certificate. Igor returns to Nina and begs her to allow Palma on the plane. He pleads that Palma is all alone and she has no one here. He explains that he has worked really hard to get a job abroad and it is very important for him to go. If he misses this opportunity, all his efforts will be wasted. He begging her to let Palma go with him. Seeing Palma's sad face, Nina feels pity for them and decides to allow them to board the plane. But just then, the security head arrives. She listens to the whole situation and immediately refuses, saying, "This is against our country's rules." She rudely ignores Igor and says, "Do you think this is a zoo? That's not possible." Igor realizes that he has no choice but to leave Palma behind because his foreign job is very important. Heartbroken, he takes Palma a little away from the plane. Then, he takes a ball from his pocket and throws it far away. As soon as Palma runs after the ball, Igor quickly rushes back and boards the plane. When Palma returns with the ball, she sees that Igor has abandoned her and is leaving on the plane. A few moments later, as the plane starts taking off, Nina notices Palma running alongside the plane. She keeps running as fast as she can and even comes in front of the plane. Seeing her, the pilot immediately stops the plane. Everyone watches Palma, hoping he will step out and take Palma with him. But Igor sits quietly inside the plane. Palma moves to the side, and after that, the plane takes off again. But Palma still hopes that Igor will step out of the plane and take her with him. However, the plane flies away. Watching Igor go far away, Palma's eyes fill with tears. She is now completely alone. A little later, the security officers arrive with their team. Seeing Palma wandering around, they decide to capture her. Palma quickly runs away and hides inside a hangar. There is a mechanic named Tikhonov. When he sees Palma, he understands that she is in trouble, so he hides her. When the guards arrive and ask about Palma, Tikhonov acts innocent and says he doesn't know anything about her. Later, when he sees Palma again, he realizes she is scared and hungry. He gives her some food and asks Palma to rest there. But just then, Palma hears the sound of an airplane and immediately runs toward the runway, thinking that Igor has come back to take her. Now, inside the plane, we see a minister traveling with his friends to Moscow, and 8-year-old boy, Kolya, is also on board. As pilot prepares to land the plane, Palma suddenly appears on the runway. To avoid hitting her, pilot quickly pulls the plane back up into the air. Seeing this, the minister gets very angry. A little later, the plane finally lands, but because of the rough landing, the minister becomes furious. He complains to Juria, who assures him, "Don't worry, we will get rid of this dog soon." Meanwhile, Palma stands near the plane, carefully watching all the passengers as they get off. As always, she hopes that one of them might be Igor, but she doesn't know that he is left forever. Just then, the security guards arrive and start chasing Palma. After a struggle, they manage to capture her. One of them says, "We have orders to shoot this dog." They lock Palma inside a bus. At that moment, Nina and Tikhonov arrive and try to stop them, but the guards refuse to listen. Kolya overhears the conversation. He secretly sneaks onto the bus and unlocks the door. As soon as the door opens, Palma escapes and runs away. The guards are furious at Kolya and scold him harshly. But just then, Victor arrives and tells the guards, "He's my son. I'll handle him. You can leave." Hearing this, the guards back off and walk away. Later, Juria confronts Victor, scolding him for his reckless flying. She angrily tells him that because of this rough landing, he might lose his license for international flights. That night, Kolya and his father move into their new house. But from their conversation, it's clear that they don't share a close bond. Kolya doesn't like his father much because Victor never gave time to him or his mother. Kolya even believes that his mother's death was his father's fault. Kolya decides to leave the house. Late at night, he sneaks out and heads straight to the airport, trying to buy a ticket, but he doesn't have enough money. But Kolya cleverly makes his way to the runway and tries to board a plane by blending in with a couple. However, an air hostess notices him and stops him. Kolya manages to escape and hides near the airplane's tires. Just then, Palma appears and jumps on him playfully. The airport guards spot them and Kolya is forced to run away. The next morning, Kolya and Palma are seen sleeping together in a hidden spot. At that moment, Victor arrives and scolds Kolya, tries to take him home. Seeing this, Palma barks at him. This makes Victor step back. Then, Tikhonov tells Victor, "Go catch your flight. I'll take care of Kolya. When you come back, you can take him with you." So he decides to leave for his flight. At that moment, Nina came and reveals the truth about Palma. She explains that Palma runs after every plane because she believes her owner might be on one of them. Nina then tells Kolya, "A few years ago, a man named Igor came here with Palma, but he he left her behind and never returned. Since then, she chases every plane, hoping he will come back. Kolya's heart fills with even more love for Palma. He gently says to her, "Just like you miss your owner, I miss my mom too." The next day, Kolya goes to the airport office and asks for an address. He wants to find Palma's owner and send him a letter. However, the officials refuse, saying they can't share personal information due to privacy rules. Meanwhile, Palma, as always, stands near the plane after it arrives. But this time, she sees a man who looks exactly like Igor from behind. She gets curious and starts following him, running all the way to the terminal. However, when she gets closer, she realizes that he is not the person she was looking for. Just then, the security guards arrive and try to catch her by throwing a net. At that moment, Kolya helps her by distracting the guard, allowing her to escape again. But because of this, chaos erupts in the terminal, causing damage to many things. Palma somehow manages to escape from the guards and hides in a safe place. Just then, Agent arrives and gives Kolya Igor's address. She tells him to take it and leave through the back way. Meanwhile, when Victor returns by flight, he sees international pilots dressed in white. He had always dreamed of becoming an international pilot, but he never got his license. Later, when he meets Jarina, she is furious because her son and Palma have caused a huge mess. She then offers him a deal. If he helps capture Palma, she will arrange international pilot license for him. Victor agrees and heads to the location where Kolya, Nina, and Palma are present. There, dog snatchers arrive and capture Palma. Seeing this, Kolya and Nina tries to stop them, but they don't listen. They drag Palma away. Kolya becomes extremely angry at Victor. Meanwhile, Nina also gets mad at Victor and hands him a letter before leaving. The letter was meant for Igor. The letter said, "Your dog, who got separated from you, is still waiting for you. Please come and take him." In the last line, Kolya wrote, "Whether it's a human or an animal, everyone feels the pain of being left behind." After reading the letter, Victor realizes his mistake. He shouldn't have separated Kolya and Palma. Just then, he sees Kolya leaving the house alone. He understands that Kolya is going to rescue Palma, so he follows him in his car. He tells Kolya, "Let's save Palma together." Hearing this, Kolya feels happy, and they drive off to rescue Palma. Meanwhile, Palma, who is very smart, manages to open her cage by herself and also frees some of her fellow. They all escape together. When Kolya and Victor reach the dog center, they meet Nina, who informs them that Palma has escaped. Everyone feels sad because they don't know where she went. But Victor says, "I know where she is." The next morning, they go to the airport, hoping to find Palma, but she isn't there. Just then, Kolya notices Palma running toward them from a distance. Seeing her, he becomes very happy. Palma starts checking the passengers coming out of a plane. Once again, she becomes sad because the person she is looking for is not there. Now, Victor fully understands that Palma is in deep distress and decides to do something about it. He calls reporters and gets Palma's story published in the newspaper. When Julia sees the news, she becomes furious. She calls Victor and tells him that he will never be allowed to fly an international flight. At that moment, Julia receives a call from the minister. He wanted to use Palma's story for his benefit. When he arrives, he praises Victor because Victor took good care of her. The minister gathers the media and announces, "Whoever Palma is waiting for, please come and take her." Minister is doing this only to make himself look like a hero in the public's eyes. At the same time, he also approves Victor's international pilot license. Slowly, time passes and Palma and Kolya become very close friends. Even Victor and Kolya start getting along better. But Palma's eyes still remain filled with sadness. Days turn into months and months into years, but she continues to wait, hoping that one day her owner, Igor, will step off a plane and take her home. However, Igor never comes. Over time, Palma's story spreads all over the world. People learn about the loyal dog waiting at the airport for her owner. Palma becomes famous and visitors take pictures with her. One day, following the minister's orders, a cage is built near the runway to keep Palma inside. But Kolya notices that Palma is unhappy in the cage. A few days later, Palma stops eating and drinking. She becomes weaker and weaker, and soon her condition worsens so much that a doctor is called. The doctor informs everyone that Palma is falling into deep depression. He warns that unless Igor returns, Palma will not recover. If things continue like this, she will eventually die. Hearing this, Kolya becomes heartbroken. One night, it rains heavily. Kolya goes to Palma and sees her sitting outside, shivering from the cold. He gently says to her, "Come with me." But Palma doesn't move. She stays in the same place, ignoring his words. Kolya, heartbroken, starts crying. He begs, "Please come, or you will die." Then, in frustration, he shouts, "Why does everyone want to leave me? Do you want to leave me just like my mom did?" Desperate, he removes his jacket and places it over Palma. Then, he lies down beside her in the cold rain. The next morning, when Kolya wakes up, he sees that Palma is awake too. He gently says, "Come with me, come home." This time, Palma believes in his friendship. She follows him home, where everyone warmly welcomes her. They take care of her. But Kolya's happiness doesn't last long. Minister arrives, stating that Palma's owner, Igor, is coming back to take her. Everyone becomes sad because they don't want Palma to leave. However, they have no choice. On the day of Igor's arrival, Kolya takes Palma to the airport. Igor steps off the plane, accompanied accompanied by a minister who always seeks attention. He brings the press with him, planning to record Palma's return and present himself as a hero. She recognizes him. She licks his face, remembering the years of waiting. Kolya watches this and becomes heartbroken. He slowly walks away, unable to see Palma leave. Victor pulls Igor aside and offers him some money, pleading, "Give Palma to us." Igor sighs and says, "I don't want to take Palma away, but I have no choice. If I don't, the minister will make me lose my foreign job." It turns out the minister is manipulating Igor for his own gain. Later, Igor takes Palma onto the plane, but suddenly, she starts running. She doesn't want to leave Kolya. Igor grabs her again and forces her back onto the plane. Then comes a twist. Just as the plane is about to take off, the pilot, Victor, refuses to fly. At that moment, another flight attendant approaches Igor. "Sir, we need Palma's health certificate before she can fly." This brings the story full circle to how it all started. The minister, furious, scolds for following the rules, but she firmly replies, "These are the rules we created, and we must follow them." Seeing Palma's teary eyes, Igor finally gives up. He removes her collar and says, "Run, Palma." Palma dashes off, running as fast as she can. She finds Kolya, and they embrace happily. Everyone around them cheers, overjoyed at their reunion.